Very simple question. If 10 cars from my personal collection came to life right now, what 10 cars would I want? What 10 cars would I want in my theoretical, Hot Wheel garage if it all came to life? Well, in 10th place would be this beauty right here, the Mercedes-Benz 190e Evolution 2. Now, this came out in the most recent Modern Classics revamp, and it is one of the sets of all time, in my opinion. When it comes to Hot Wheels car culture, there's usually one car out of 5 where I'm just like, yeah, I don't want that. Yeah, that's gonna be the peg warmer, but this most recent adaptation of Modern Classics was a banger. I loved every car in the set. And this Mercedes was the cream of the crop, in my opinion. I'm a sucker for saloons, I'm a sucker for Mercedes, and I would love for this thing to come to life. I also love the Zamek finish on this, and overall, I just think it's a very, very clean casting. But moving on to the 9th car. Now, one thing I want to let you guys know is that this is in order. Out of every loose Hot Wheel that I have, I will only choose 10 of them that I want to come to life, and they're going to be in order. So the Mercedes was 10th, and now we've got 9th place, the Chevel. Now, I just want to let you guys know that for the concept of this video, I'm only going to be selecting cars that I have loose that are also premium. So for example, I don't actually have a premium loose Hot Wheel Boulevard for the Dodge Charger. It doesn't have to be Boulevard, but car culture. I don't have a car culture Dodge Charger, so 1969 Dodge Charger. So that wouldn't be part of my personal garage. It would be if I had one loose, but I don't. So this is my muscle car inclusion, one of 2 that you will see, and it's the Chevel from the Fast and Furious set that came out, I think, a couple of years ago. But that comes in 9th place. In 8th place, however, one of my favorite SUVs. This might come as a shock to some of you because I know a lot of Land Cruiser purists out there. They would say that this car is a little bit too much. It's not a tried and true Land Cruiser. I've seen people say that, I've heard Doug DeMuro say that as well. But you know what? I love almost every single Land Cruiser that has existed. My granddad owns a 2009 Lexus Land Cruiser, and I've always had, some affinity to the car. It's sentimental value, and I freaking love this car. I think that this is Japan's attempt to making a car as bodacious as a G-Wagon, and although I would still choose a G-Wagon over this Land Cruiser, I don't have a Hot Wheel premium of a G-Wagon. I think they only made it as a RLC. So yeah, as far as SUVs go in my Hot Wheel collection, this is my favorite one, and that's going to come in 8th place. Anyway, moving on to 7th place. This is from the most recent Boulevard collection. It's the BMW M5. Look, I'm a sucker for German sedans, especially Mercs, but that doesn't exclude Audis and BMWs and even Porsches, even though Porsche doesn't make a lot of, sedans. But, I freaking love the 91 BMW M5. I didn't really like the set that this car came in. It came in a yellow, Land Cruiser FJ. Don't like the color yellow, so I wasn't going to collect that. Didn't like the Alfa Romeo. Lancia Delta was nice, but I thought the Lancia was a little bit disproportionate. It was a little bit too big of a casting, but the BMW was gorgeous. Anyway, moving on to 7th place. A little bit of JDM inclusion here. I would love this Nissan KDR30. It is gorgeous. I mean, bronze rims, black paint. That is one of the nicest combinations you could have on just about any car, I would say. The KDR30 is just absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite Skylines of all time. One of my favorite Nissans of all time. Hot Wheels and Mattel did make a super silhouette version of the R30, but I thought that it was a pretty bad casting. It's not very accurate to the real life version. I do have that. It came in the twin pack of the Liberty Walk R34. And I did want to include the R34 in today's video, but unfortunately it did not make the cut for my top 10. Hey, comment down below what you think my top 10 cars are. I mean, you need to know what my premiums are, so that's going to be pretty tough. But anyway, moving on to 6th place over here. I mean, this thing is a stunner, isn't it? I don't have a lot of motorsport inclusion, just in my, loose Hot Wheel collection as a whole. But Rexy was one that I could not pass up. So much so that I actually wanted to get Roxy as well. I bought the entire case. I know that the chances of getting Roxy is pretty low, but I did buy an entire case hoping that I would get Roxy. I did not get Roxy, but at least we got 2 Rexies from the case. So I opened one, I have one still carded. One of my favorite Hot Wheel castings, honestly, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Moving on to the top 5 now, we're starting off with the other American muscle car in my collection. And over here we have the ever so beautiful Kit from Knight Rider. I do believe that I actually lost count. This is not top 5, this is number 4? I believe, yeah, this is number 4. Rexy was number 5. So yeah, growing up, Knight Rider was one of my absolute favorite shows. And before the Dodge Charger, before the 1969 Dodge Charger, there was a time in my life where the 1989 Pontiac Trans Am was my favorite car of all time. This is one of the oldest car culture premiums I have in my entire collection. This was actually before I got back into, you know, collecting Hot Wheels again. I bought this car for fun because I saw it at a market somewhere. I was like, oh my god, that's Kit. Anyway, moving on to top 3, we've got the 930 Porsche 911. I love this casting. I'm not sure if my camera picks it up, but I do have there's a small paint chip on this car on the rear fender, and it really pisses me off because I didn't see it when I bought the car that there was a chip on the paint. I hate it when that happens. And you know, yeah, you can see it now. You see that on the back, on the back fender? That is, yeah, that annoys me. Oh man. I love the car, I love the casting. I don't like the color yellow, but it fits so well in this 930, and I'm contemplating buying another one. I kind of want to sell this one off for a cheaper price and get a newer one that's loose without the paint chip. I need that because the paint chip annoys me. Moving on to the top 2 now, we've got the Mercedes E36 Estate. I do have all 3 variations of this. It came in black, it came in white, it came in red. And in the Hot Wheel version, the black one is called the Special Edition. It actually has a casting error. It doesn't have a back door or something like that. Unfortunately, the black version of the E36, I prefer it over the white, but I don't have it loose. So that's why it's not included in today's video. I don't want to open the black one. That thing is pretty freaking expensive. I can only afford one right now. I also have the red version of the E36, but that's also carded. But I do have 2 whites, 1 loose, as you see right here, whilst another one is still carded as well. It's still a lovely casting, and I would love this in my collection. But anyway, moving on to the top 1. The number 1 car that I have that I want to come in real life is, of course, this beautiful Mercedes W140. Look, oh, sorry for the camera shake over there. I'm always a sucker. I'm always a sucker for classic Mercedeses. W140, W124, W126, and this 500 SEL is it's no exception. It's a gorgeous car, gorgeous casting. This was part of the Fast and Furious set that came out last year. Obviously, this is the car that quote-unquote killed Han, that Jason Statham used, right? This is one of my favorite castings. It is definitely my favorite Hot Wheels Boulevard car culture, whatever you want to call it, car that I currently have loose in my current collection. I, again, have 2 of these. One is carded, and one is loose that you see right here. So overall, you know, my personal top 10, as you can see over here, we've got Rexy, the E36, the 500 SEL. I do have some honorable mentions. I asked Giselle what her top 3 cars in my loose collections were, and her answer was fantastic. She was like, you don't have enough, you need to open more, because I have a lot of premium cars carded still. But in her top 3 is actually the Charger Hellcat. Surprise, surprise, this wasn't in my top 10, but it's in my girlfriend's top 3. You know she's a keeper. The only issue is that I'm not a huge fan of this casting. It's a little bit too wide. I feel like the grille is a bit disproportionate as well from an actual Hellcat Charger. I think that the Matchbox casting of the Charger Hellcat wide body is actually better than the Hot Wheel version. So that's the only reason why it's not in the top 10. I just think that, you know, the casting could be a little bit more accurate. The second car, though, that Giselle chose was this beautiful Porsche. I believe it's a 944. It shouldn't be a 928. I believe it's a 944, but I might be wrong. It is from the Mountain Passers? Is it called Mountain Passers? That's what it is. Came with an E39 M5, came with an E500, very beautiful Mercedes-Benz E500. I have that, but it's carded. I don't have it loose. If I had it loose, my goodness, it would be in the top 10 as well. I also really want the chase version of that, but your boy's not made of money. But anyway, number 1 on Giselle's list. I mean, it's no surprise. She is a Mustang lover through and through. Number 1, here you go. It is indeed the Boulevard Shelby. I believe this is the GT500. It might be a GT350. One or the other, but it is a beautiful, beautiful car nonetheless. I do like the little touch 99. You know, my favorite number is 9. I think it's a decent casting as well. And yeah, I'm just not surprised that Giselle chose this as her number 1. So that was today's video. Something a little bit different, you know, just showcasing a little bit of my collection, my top 10, my girlfriend's top 3. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's little concept. It took a lot of time to actually edit this video in 4K, so I hope it turns out okay. I learned a lot of new things on Adobe Premiere Pro for this video. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm gonna stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.